love so steady. Even gold won't turn your tide. We flow together like an ocean, every low and every high. And I would have you anyway, dear, any way your heart could bear. Even if you had to leave me, I'd always be waiting here. Even when we are apart, I will keep you in my heart. And I wouldn't change a thing, even if I were the king. I've never known a brighter sunset, but every day I see it rise. I never thought it could be better until I saw it in your eyes. Even when we are apart, I will keep you in my heart. I will hold the world at bay just to see you smile again. And when time begins to fade, I will love you just the same. And I wouldn't change a thing, even if I were the king.
I said, whoa, I'm on my own. We spoke on the phone, that's all she wrote. She said, leave me alone, so I'ma go. Spending all our time and we went for broke, but you could've made it last year. I won't put it past you. I said ride the wave, but you sank the ship so fast, yeah. You weren't on my side because that would make you mad, yeah. I ain't gotta lie, girl, I loved you more the past year. But thinking about it, 6 side trips down to see you by the coast. I would say I love looking better than for most. I used to show you pictures to my friends just to boast about your energy. Ooh, yeah, in that 4.0, yeah. Look, never thought I had to look again. Way too focused on your ex and them. Really think you need some better friends. I've been feeling different ever since. You won't ever find a better man. Love you way more than you ever knew. Now I'm looking for a better you. I said, whoa, I'm on my own. We spoke on the phone, that's all she wrote. She said, leave me alone, so I'ma go. Spending all our time and we went for broke, but you could've made it last year. I won't put it past you. I said ride the wave, but you sank the ship so fast, yeah. You weren't on my side because that would make you mad, yeah. I ain't gotta lie, girl, I loved you more the past year. But thinking about it, 6 side trips, come and see me in the Ville. Making love to you first to show you how I feel. We connected on a level, thought that I could never build. And I was so impressed with you, but you know everything that's good has an end. Look what you created, now we're in this happenstance. I'm convinced you never really loved me truly like you said you did. It won't be your friends that would be there in the end. No, it could've been me, it could've been me, it could've been us. We could've been free. A date in New York, yeah, a date on the beach. Nobody else would know what that means except you and me. I swear that I meant it, I get it, you needed your peace. But do not forget it, you need a release. You cried in my arms, I need you to breathe. Where were you at when I needed you, please? Oh, when I needed you. And I said, whoa. phone, that's all she wrote. She said, leave me alone, so I'ma go. Spending all our time and we went for broke. But you could've made it last. I won't put it past.
All right, I will talk to you soon.
Right away.
See you back. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Fast, you were on my side. No, no, no.
T-E-M-V-T-E-D tempted. I was tempted. Tempted by your smile. I was tempted. And for a little while I was certain that I will be the one to change you, and you will be mine. You will be mine. I was tempted, tempted by your eyes. I was tempted, the promises, the lies just keep hurting. They just keep on hurting. But I won't be the one to change you, and you won't be mine. No, you won't be mine. Like Eve in the garden when the evening came. How could I believe you, fooled and ashamed? I was tempted, but tempted I'm no more. I've attempted what was never done before. Drop the curtain, drop the curtain. See, no one ever changes, no one. Farewell and
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Why you so salty? I'll still take a bite.
Okay, we can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Why you so salty? I'll still take a bite.
We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop. Okay.
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Why you so salty?
You sure you can handle? Okay. We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to tonight's tasting. You know what? It is one that I have been looking forward to and thinking about for a very long time. I am fascinated with Pappy Van Winkle. And listen, I know everybody's always like, well, Pappy, it's overhyped and we shouldn't be talking about it so much. And I saw my Instagram people doing hashtag never Pappy. I get it. I understand. But you all have to understand that that brand came from really nothing. Julian Van Winkle was on his last leg when he partnered with Buffalo Trace. And I'm fascinated with Pappy from both a business perspective and the fact that he actually was really the first brand to consistently have stocks above 20 years old and succeed based on that premise. So in a lot of ways, Pappy Van Winkle is one of the more instrumental brands in changing the way we sip whiskey, especially bourbon. Now, I'm fascinated with how that bourbon is perceived today in comparison to what the Pappy Van Winkle actually made, or what he owned when it was being produced. Now, this is a bottle that would have been distilled while Pappy Van Winkle was still alive. When it was bottled, it was bottled around, I would say, 1967 to 1969. So it was bottled after Pappy had passed away. Pappy passed away in 1965, a year after they got the I found an old press release today I wanted to show you. It is fascinating. So this is a little piece of history I'm about to show you. The barrel entry proof on this would have been 110. They actually had they were very consistent with 110, whereas like the Weller today, and well, shoot, I'm having trouble finding it. The Weller today would have been in a much, it's 114 proof. All right, so we're going to take a look. I'm going to find this old piece of history for you all. We're going to go through some old archives of. So they used to make Mammoth Cave. So that is a Mammoth Cave old ad, and that is oh, look at that, it's watermarked. Yay. Well, you know what? We'll skip all that. So hold on. Jerry says that this video clearly established me as the P.T. Barnum of bourbon. I think I take that as a compliment, but I don't know. And Danny Lynn, we're gonna be coming to this. Danny promised me that he would be sipping some of his he would be sipping Pappy Van Winkle 15-year-old alongside me tonight. So anyway, so this bottle is from the 60s. They would have distilled it, it's 7 years old. This was kind of like considered like their entry-level bourbon for the time. It was 86.8 proof. That they didn't come out with that like right away. This was something they came out with in the early 60s. And so this bottle they had a lot of these bottles that were bottled exclusively for people. And this was bottled for a gentleman by the name of John Lawson. So I don't know about Mr. Lawson, but I hope he got more than one bottle. So this bottle has been sitting in my collection, and I don't really remember how I got this bottle. I think it was a gift, but I can't remember who gave it to me. So I hate to do. I'm going to peel this whole thing back. Let you all get in here. Okay, see that cork? That cork is still really, really nice. It's been held together. Oh, Kurt is claiming that he gave me this bottle. I don't think this one came from you, Kurt. I got this one like 10 years ago. Okay, so here we go, everybody. This is one of the most important parts of opening a vintage bottle, and we're doing this live, and I don't have any tools around me. Oh, I've got a wine cork here. So if we have an issue, I will hopefully dig it out with that. Okay, so here we go. And the cork has broken. That cork is, wow, this is really the right time to be opening it. That cork didn't stand a chance. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I really don't have the best tools right now for this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out that cork. Just a little bit, just a little bit at a time. Dig it out. Hopefully I won't spill a drop. Now I do have quite a bit of experience doing this, but when you do this, you want to have a blade that has a little bit of an edge where you can kind of like a Klingon, battle things. You want to be able to curve it around. All right, so it looks like I'm going to be able to effectively get out all this old cork, and it shouldn't touch, not much should touch. Yeah, how about that? I was able to get everything. Now I'm going to scoop up the sides. So that's not too bad. But this bottle, that cork, so look at that. I was able to get all of that out. I was able to get all of that out with a particular angle. You want to have like a blade like this that's got a little curve to it. That way you can kind of get around the edges. But it's really important that you have it like at an angle too. That way it doesn't like plop down and you can kind of control it. So, but to be honest with you, you have to like make sure when you're looking at those old corks, these like this, like I could never look at this cork because this was protecting it. But it's a miracle. I grabbed this bottle now to sip because this thing was going to this thing was about to fall in here into the liquid, and yeah, that cork was done. It was time to go for that cork. So here we go. This is the first time that this bottle has ever been poured. It's been in here since I want to say 1968. So this is some old whiskey. It's been in there for a bit. It's gonna let you all see that right there. A little drip in there. Look at that. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Woo! This was truly the perfect night to open this. Also, it's date night after this, so the kids are in bed, and I'm gonna bring this home to the love of my life, and we're gonna sip a little bit of this. We'll probably polish it off, to be honest with you. So I really believe in opening your best bottles and sharing them with friends and family. I'm thankful that I have this opportunity to sip with you all every night. And I'm also very thankful I have an amazing whiskey-loving spouse who appreciates good whiskey with me. So I cannot wait to do that. So that one. So the Fitzgerald is out. Now, here's the thing about the Pappy 15-year-old. I was going through my collection today, and I thought I had a couple bottles, but as it turns out, I don't. I have a couple of Pappy 20-year-olds that I was mistaking as 15-year-olds. So, in a pinch, I was calling up some friends, and I couldn't get anyone to give me a pour. Imagine that. And then I came across my good buddies at Commonwealth Tap. That's my neighborhood bar. They're doing deliveries right now. So if you live in the Louisville area, if you can, please go check them out. They're called Commonwealth Tap. They'll deliver to you, and they're great people. They have a great wine selection. I think they can even do cocktails to you if you can come pick them up, and that they can do beer too. But this they're the reason why we have Pappy 25 or 15-year-old tonight to taste, is because Kenny from Commonwealth Tap, gave me some love, and thank you from the bottom of my heart, brother. So make sure you all are checking out Commonwealth Tap when you get a chance. So here we go. Let's go ahead and compare these two side by side. So obviously, we can tell which one is although I did a pretty good job of getting that cork out, there's some floaties in there. But it's not bad. It's not bad. Now, when we take a look at the color, I'm finding that the 7-year-old bourbon, the old Fitzgerald, is darker than the 15-year-old. Now, you all are looking at the light. You're seeing it a little differently than I am, but I think that you all might agree that the 7-year-old here is darker than the 15-year-old. So the 15-year-old, so I'm gonna put the little thing up here. I'll be back, and I'm trying to get this where everybody can see it. Yeah, well, never mind. Got to work on my overlays beforehand. I think that's the problem with doing like 55 things in a day. Today, I wrote 3 stories, and I did a couple of videos and a bunch of like organizational stuff. I'm like going through these things, and I'm like, I don't even know how I do this, and I'm doing it. So I think that's where the military brain comes in. The question came in. The question came in was, is this 2019 Pappy? Now, actually, I do not know. I did not get clarification as to which year this Pappy was. I was just thankful that Commonwealth Tap had a little bit to pour me. And so my assumption is it's probably 2019 or 2018, because those bottles don't tend to last very long. Hey, everybody. Eric from Scotch and Times here. This guy's great. You guys got to go check him out on Instagram. Okay, so I have been very open about my fondness for Pappy 15-year-old. I happen to like that most out of all the Pappy offerings and all the Van Winkle offerings. I think Pappy 15-year-old hits a very nice sweet spot for my palate. And in fact, when judging a blind at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition in 2013, I picked it to be, the best bourbon of that year. And going back through all my notes of that competition, I find that particular competition was the one that I thought the bourbon was the best out of all of them. All the other ones, I really like the bourbons a lot, don't get me wrong, but in that year, I felt that was a very special one. So in 2013, that was a brilliant bourbon. Okay, so here we go. Glad to see Brad agrees here. Okay, so we have a little hint of coconut, some chocolate, like a fresh bag of popcorn, but kind of like the sweet kind. Like they got sugar in there, so they're sweetening it up. You get that popcorn scent, and then you got that sugar there. And then, what else am I getting here? Joel Francis hit it. Kettle corn. You know what? I can't quite tell you what that other smell is in here. Oh, Dave's trying to bring up marzipan. Is it marzipan? No, it's not marzipan. Someone's trying to get in the office. I just heard someone try to pull on the door. I locked it. Take that office and get her in her. Okay. Okay, guys. We got some really good nose here. That made me sound like I just got out of the 6th grade. We got some really good nose here. Okay. Speaking of which, like, I cannot wait for you all to see this interview I did with Mick Fleetwood. It'll be out next Friday. But that interview with Mick Fleetwood was amazing, and we talked a lot about, well, he was nosing whiskey, and we had a long conversation about that. I can't wait for you all to see that. So I'm now getting some roasted nuts, not like a peanut, but like some of the finer nuts that you would see almost like a. I like Brazilian nuts, but you don't really smell them roasted a lot, and when they do, they kind of they soften up. I have found, and like they put out like a very a lot of sugary. If you want. All right, here I go. I'm gonna go to the palate. I'm gonna stop talking now. Oh, some bitch. Oh, that's good. I swear to God. Bill Woods must be in my brain. I wasn't saying buttery cashew. I was going to say cashew butter. Bill Woods, wherever you are, Bill Woods is in my brain. This is really, really, really good. Cashew butter on like a nice piece of toast. After that, there comes this this rush of caramel, like really good concentrated caramel, like in the form of the very best chews, moist, not sticky, just moist, and kind of like how they kind of spread all around. It doesn't get stuck in your teeth. That really good caramel chew. Not the one that's been sitting in the damn gas station for 3 months, and your dad just grabs it for you because you said you want a piece of candy, and he gets the sticks his hand in the bucket of like 15,000 different candies and brings you the hard piece of caramel that's been sitting there forever. That was not good caramel, Dad. Yep, Brad got a good point there. The 23-year-old does lose a lot of that flavor to the yolk. Okay, one more taste on this guy. Oh, yeah. Now there's just a little bit of after that second taste, those first ones are still there, but now there's like a back end spice. Real pretty. Peppery. Not like a baking spice, but a nice like black pepper. Really like that. Oh. Now, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button. I have a lot of fun things coming around. I have a lot of fun things, coming out. I mentioned the Mick Fleetwood interview. I also just interviewed Harry Shearer, who is the voice of Ned Flanders and Mr. Burns on The Simpsons. We actually didn't drink whiskey. We drank wine. And I got to talk about my time as a wine writer and some stuff with Malbec. So click that subscribe button. Make sure you hit those reminders for when things come out. I also got approved by YouTube reached out to me and asked me if I would like to start kind of like some membership stuff. So I'll be able to have some very exclusive things coming your way just for the members. So that should be fun. It's not going to be crazy expensive, but it's something I'm very proud of because YouTube basically reached out to me and said, you know what, you earned this. And so that's something that this whole world, I really only started 6 months ago, but I couldn't do any of this without you all. And you all have helped me build this wonderful YouTube community. And so thank you. Thank you. And if you have not sent me your what you're drinking tonight, make sure you hit me up at assistant@fredminnick.com or go to oh my God. Oh my God. That smells like liquid gold right there. Liquid gold. Liquid gold. Sometimes you get a dusty, which is a dusty is what we call these bourbons that have been around for a long time. They've been collecting dust in someone's basement or closet, and that's what we call them. And sometimes you get them and they weren't stored well, or the cork plops in, or something happens to them, or just they didn't sit in the bottle very well for a long time, and they have like this kind of and I also learned through doing my story on cork is that the cork industry only started recently, like in the last 20 years, started treating the corks to not release tannins. So cork comes from an oak tree, so they still possess some of those qualities that an oak barrel would have. So some of those corks that have been sitting and resting and keeping that liquid safe could actually be adding some tannic acid into the liquid while it's sitting in the bottle. So a lot of times when people taste that kind of what we call a dank note or must or over oaked, a lot of times people will say it's just doesn't fit them right, or it's that dusty note. That's actually from the cork, and it continues to release some tannic acids into the liquid. But I don't taste any of that now. Now you saw me from the top talking about like the how that cork was ready. It was about to go. So tonight was the absolute perfect night for us to taste. And here we are. I hope you all send me what you are drinking. The first note I get, and this is one that I usually get in rum. I'm getting a cola note, like an old-fashioned cola note. Not any brand specific, but cola. I know you all can't enjoy that with me, but let's just swirl it around there. Let's see that. It's really what Stitzel-weller did back in that time was really masterful. So after I've had that cola note, after I've detected what is really just kind of well-rounded overall caramel forward nose, I'm going to go back into a second time and see, you know, I'm going to focus specifically on the back end of my palate, because as I swallowed that, I could feel like some kind of tingling sensation on the back end, and I'm very excited to see, you know, what that might be, and if there's more to it than this cola and just kind of like general sweet stuff. Because right now as it is, I'm edging toward the Pappy 15-year-old, because it had a little bit more backbone. Now it's probably not fair. It's probably not fair to just say that, because this is the Pappy is at a higher proof, and this is at 86.8 proof, which is not high at all. But it's still got a lot of that incredible flavor. Now Dave trying to get me to dip into the old scory bucket. It's just for fun. It's just for fun, he says. It's just for fun. I think maybe I would actually score it. Maybe that's what we can do on the member pages. Keep my scores there. Ladies and gentlemen, how about it for our boy JT3NSB busting out his 1982 Eagle Rare 101. How about you send us a photo of that for proof? Not saying that you're lying on us, not saying you're lying, but we don't know if there's not a photo. It didn't happen. I mean, you guys saw me, dig it right on out of there. You know I'm doing it. All right, just as I suspected, there is a marvelous spice note that is just gorgeous, but I don't know what this spice is. It's something that I feel like I would taste in Indian food. And my Indian spice terminology is not that good, but this is the kind of spice that I have that I know in Indian food. It's not curry. It's not. I don't know, but it's an Indian food spice that I love. I don't want to butcher this, but I think it starts with a P. Punjab. Help me out here, folks, in the chat, so I don't look too much like an idiot later on down the road. It's not saffron, not cardamom, or coriander. Although good guesses. No, I don't think it's turmeric. Let me go back in. Yeah, Punjabi. That's it. There we go. Punjabi. Boom. There's like a back in Punjabi note. Yeah. This is really good. Okay, so if it's not a spice, then there's a dish at my local Indian food place that is lamb Punjabi, and it's that spice. My vernacular for Indian food, I just eat it. I am not good with the terms, but I will tell you that whatever is being served at the Taj Mahal on Westport Road and Goose Creek, that is the flavor I'm getting here. And you would better believe that when I would be done with this, that now that I know that it's more of a region versus a spice there, I would be going there and trying to eating that dish. Oh boy, this is funny. All right, so I'm going to go back to the Pappy 15-year-old and see where we're at. Kate knows what I'm talking about. Well, you know, so my thought here is that the Pappy 15-year-old feels fresher on the palate. It feels a little bit more, like it is, how should I put it? It feels ready to drink now. Like, this feels like something, I don't know how else to put it other than that, like, this is something that I want to drink. It's like an every night kind of bourbon. Like, it's something that I want to drink now and sip later. And it doesn't quite feel, you know, and I know my whole thing is like breaking things down and talking about them, but I'm kind of going into a different direction right now where I'm like, what do I want to have for a special occasion with my wife? That's where my head's at. And well, the Pappy 15-year-old is definitely something that is incredible. And I think that all right, so we're breaking down a little bit more of my ignorance in the flavor that I was trying to pick up. And Kurt, whom we can always count on for being a great commenter here, says that it's an Indian allspice powder. So there's an Indian allspice powder in there. So here we go, where I'm kind of about to make that kind of declaration. I'm basing this a lot on where my head is right now. I'm basing this where my head's at right now. And the thing is like the kids are in bed. My wife and I, we haven't spent probably more than 15 minutes together without the kids jumping on us or talking. And tonight we've had it planned. We're having charcuterie night, which is how we usually do our date night when it's at home. And we're going to sip some wine. I'm going to bring some good bourbon. And that's where my head's at. It's like, what bourbon am I bringing to date night? And that's, I think that's how I'm making my decision tonight. I'm not necessarily doing it based on like a breakdown of flavors. I'm doing it based on date night. So I think I'm going to go with the old Fitz. Yeah. So Alan Bishop asks, Fred, would you be willing to do spirits tasting out of left field? Something not bourbon, rye, malt, or brandy? Alan, I was just on a show that I don't think you like very much called The Moonshiners, where I tasted their moonshine and rated their moonshine. So I'm a glutton for punishment here. So send it my way. Send it my way. So there you go, folks. So my date night bourbon tonight is going to be something that was distilled in the early 1960s, while Pappy Van Winkle would have still owned stitzel-weller, and it was bottled in 1968. So yeah, gonna do it. Now, I will, Alan, one more disclaimer. If you send me vodka, the relationship is over. And if I find out you're making vodka, man, I'm going to be very disappointed in you. Now, I have got to go in and check out some emails, folks, because I know Danny Lynn sent me a photo of himself drinking some Pappy 15-year-old, and I put him on the spot. I straight put him on the spot the other day and said, Danny, bust out that 15-year-old with me. And he said he would. And then when I didn't see that email, you know what I did? I reminded him kindly on Instagram that he owed me a photo. Look at there. Sure enough, there it is. I'm downloading it now, folks. You all see that? Yep. That right there is Danny Lynn's. Danny Lynn broke out his bourbon tonight. He's LOLing himself, but he broke out his bourbon tonight, and I think that that's a bottle. He might have had 1 or 2 pours before this show came on, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3. I don't know, but everybody, this bourbon is meant to be enjoyed. It is not to be meant to be hidden in your basement collecting dust. I'm breaking my stuff out. I hope you break out yours too. But how about it tonight for Danny Lynn, everybody? I think that's so important that we don't lose focus of the fact that we're meant to drink this stuff. We're not meant to just be like, keeping. Oh, you know what? Someone sent me. Vegas Smart said he's drinking a little bit of 4-Gate Batch 4, but he didn't send a photo. Got to send that photo, folks. Got to send that photo. And looky here. John Thomas delivering in the clutch. Delivering in the clutch. He's got a decanter. He is busting out. He's saying, Danny Lynn, ho, 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 ho. You got yourself a Pappy Van Winkle 15-year-old. Well, take a look at my 1982 Eagle Rare. He's like, I ain't going home that easily, folks. He's wanting to party. So that's John Thomas's right there. John Thomas, of course, is Jim Thomas. Jim Thomas. Sorry about that, Jim. Didn't mean to get your name wrong. But, surely you can forgive me. But that bottle right there, that's a fine bottle. Fine bottle. And I appreciate you sending that. I appreciate you breaking that out tonight. And look at that. Even Danny's impressed. But here's the thing, though. And I know that you decanted that. He decanted that, folks, and something else to make sure that, because these decanters, you never know how they're going to age. But I think this is great. You bust out the good stuff. And I'm getting notes that I need to check out Twitter now. All right, I'm going to check out some Twitter. You guys keep on sending those photos. Bob Jenkins just sent me one here. All right, Bob. Now, Bob, the question is, are you drinking it tonight? Now, I see the bottle. But are you drinking it? I don't know, Bob. I don't see a glass there. I mean, you are drinking it, but that one's still. Oh, it's signed by Parker Beam. You know what? I have some bottles signed by Parker Beam too, and I still haven't opened them. You know why? Because he is a really important, really important person in my life, and I don't want to crack it open and then just, I like seeing the bottle, I like seeing his name, and I like remembering the man. So I'm going to Twitter now, checking out some photos here. Now I don't see any fresh photos. Okay, so I might have already shared your photo if you commented on Twitter. But looks like that's probably going to do it for the round of showing people's photos. You know what? Again, my boy Alan, he just nails it. It's just because Parker, and damn. Parker Beam was someone very special to me. Is very special to Bourbon, but he was a mentor, and Parker was someone that, you know, he embodied whiskey to me, and he was not a marketer. He was not a person who, you know, he was not one of these. He was not one of these guys that just, you know, was about a press release or something. Man, he was a whiskey maker. And when he wasn't making whiskey, he was running cattle. And when he wasn't running cattle, he was raising kids or jogging. I mean, he was a farmer and a distiller, and he ran a trucking company. He just was a great man, great human being. And when he died from ALS, you know, the world lost a whiskey champion. So, yeah, going to get me sad tonight. Well, everybody, that's going to do it for me tonight. I hope you all can enjoy the rest of the night with the bourbon that you have, with the people that you have around you. But know that every night that we come together just like this, we are coming together as a community. Just it's on screen. It's not in person, but it is on screen. And try to find those moments that you can enjoy with others. And I enjoy all of this. And I want to share something with you. And I'm going to try and not get choked up tonight. But today it was announced that we canceled Bourbon and Beyond and the other music festivals. And that was hard. That was really hard. And my heart, it goes out to Danny Wimmer Presents, and that's family to me. It goes out to them in a way that I can't express without losing myself. We had to cancel a festival a couple years. We had to cancel the festival when it was raining a couple years ago, and you know, Danny Wimmer Presents has had to cancel its other music festivals up to the Bourbon and Beyond, the Trifesta, the Louder Than Live, Hometown Rising, Bourbon and Beyond. It's had to cancel, you know, Sonic Temple, Epicenter, its spring festivals, and you know, everything I was doing was building, like Bourbon and Beyond that was my baby, and the day that I learned that it was inevitably going to happen, I was hurt. I knew we did it for the right reasons. It's the best thing for the public health. It's the best thing for the community. But that doesn't mean that the people who put these things on can't feel and can't hurt and can't realize that, you know, all that effort and everything, that it doesn't mean that because we did it and because that it's what's best, it doesn't mean that it feels good. And I was really depressed. And what I did was, to manage this depression, if you will, I loaded up my music and put it on, and I took a walk. I was listening to everything from Slipknot to Fleetwood Mac to Prince to Garth Brooks. I'm just my playlists are all over the place. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of Hall & Oates lately. And speaking of all over the place, and for whatever reason, when I'm listening to Hall & Oates, I can really focus. It's really weird. But I'm out on this walk listening to my playlist. I'm purposely not touching my phone, and I'm just walking. And then I pick up my phone, and I got a few emails from people who have been coming to these nightly tastings. And they said they thanked me for doing this every night. and they thanked me for helping them get through it. And guys, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You all have helped me. You all have helped me. I come here and I taste whiskey and I talk about my passion and I talk about the history of these whiskeys. And I mean, this has been a horrible year for a lot of reasons. But I know I can come here every night when I can and bring a glass to the camera and know that one day that we'll be able to touch glasses again. And when I saw those emails thanking me, I just want you to know that it meant the world. It meant the world to me. And losing Bourbon and Beyond for this year, that was the kind of that's the kind of like punch in the stomach that you don't anticipate. You don't have that in a business plan. You don't have that in anything. And it sucks. But the way things are, we cannot change. And I have been getting myself back in that fighter mentality that I had 10 years ago, when, gosh, even more than 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when it was about, it was me versus the Iraq stuff. And that is where I am now. And I refuse to let this be the end of anything, that I'm doing or that Bourbon is doing. And there's a lot of really great things ahead. Some of them I can't talk about right now. But Bourbon is not going away. And as long as we have this, and I mean this with respect to everyone out there, as long as we have this responsibly, as long as we can sit down and we can toast and we can talk and we can just sip a little whiskey, then it doesn't matter what's out there. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. So, thank you all so much for joining me. Sorry I got a little emotional there, but it was a day. And I want to thank you for being there with me. So as I close out, please remember, don't lick trash cans. Don't lick handrails. And it's most importantly that you understand that vodka sucks unless it's being used for hand sanitizer. Cheers.